Hey, and welcome to the Unusual Practice Podcast. Wow. This is Charlie.
Smoke fills the air, hearts on fire, dreams colliding, lifting higher. East meets west in the rising sun. Life and love fights never done.
3, 2, 1.
So, did y'all miss me? Well, I've been down the rabbit hole of AI, and we are gonna have so much fun. Now, let's start with today's episode. Can a robot fix your mental health? I'm going to be revealing apps you may have not heard about, or you may have heard about, but maybe you just need a little bit of a nudge to start using them. In case you need any help, and we all need some help, this is your show.
Chasing the light, world spins wide open.
So here's the thing, the line between technology and mental health has always been murky. Like, are we scrolling Instagram because we're bored, or are we bored because we're scrolling Instagram? But now the tech world has decided it's not just going to contribute to your existential dread, it's actually going to solve it too. Welcome to AI and the future of self-help. Can a robot fix your mental health? This is where we're going to explore whether Silicon Valley might be the new therapy couch. Mental health challenges have skyrocketed globally, with WHO reporting nearly 1 billion people living with mental disorders in 2022.
Chasing the light, world spins wide open, take control.
Meanwhile, therapist waiting lists stretch longer than the queue for the latest iPhone release. Now enter artificial intelligence, swooping in like a digital superhero with a psychology degree. We've gone from Clippy asking, "Would you like help writing that letter?" to Wobot asking, "How are you feeling today?" and actually giving a damn about the answer. These AI therapy chatbots have exploded onto the scene, with over 10 million users turning to digital companions like Wobot, Wiza, and countless other forms for psychological support. As my buddy philosopher Alan Watts once said, the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. And boy, are we dancing right into the arms of algorithms programmed to care.
Thank you so much.
So what exactly are these digital shrinks? They're sophisticated AI chatbots designed specifically to deliver psychological support through your phone screen, available 24/7, never needing bathroom breaks, and crucially, never judging you for binge watching 7 seasons of a show in 3 days. Take Wobot, created by Stanford psychologist Allison Darcy in 2017. Unlike your human therapist who might nod off during your childhood trauma recounting, Wobot has analyzed over 100 million conversations to become what its creators call a choose your own adventure self-help book that's actually responsive. Meanwhile, Wiza, developed in India, not Silicon Valley, has served over 5 million users across 65 countries with its penguin avatared AI companion. In rural Ethiopia, where there's approximately 1 psychiatrist per 4 million people, mobile mental health interventions have shown promising results in communities where traditional therapy isn't just expensive, it's virtually non-existent. These chatbots employ cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, the gold standard in evidence-based psychological treatment. CBT focuses on identifying negative thought patterns and replacing them with healthier alternatives. In the Dadaab refugee camp in Kenya, humanitarian organizations have piloted AI-based mental health interventions where users reported a 35% reduction in anxiety symptoms, all without a single human therapist present. The technology isn't just supplementing traditional therapy. In many places, it's creating access where none existed before. As Dr. Tom Insel, former director of the National Institute of Mental Health, noted, "We're not going to solve the mental health crisis by training more psychiatrists. We need to use technology to extend the reach of the resources we have." But here is where it gets properly strange. Studies show people often prefer confessing their darkest secrets to an algorithm rather than a human. Something about the judgment-free digital void makes people more honest. As one Wobot user from Belgium put it, "I'll tell my chatbot things I couldn't even tell my wife for 22 years.
Sneaky turtle.
So, Are we witnessing the birth of a mental health revolution or just the latest digital snake oil? Well, these AI therapists can recognize suicidal ideation with 93% accuracy, according to research from the University of Pennsylvania. They can't actually reach through the screen and give you a hug when you need one.
Aww.
Though I'm sure Apple is working on that feature for the iPhone 18. Ta-da! The world of AI mental health support isn't just about clinical interventions. It's infiltrating the most intimate corners of our lives. Take Ebb, the AI meditation companion that Headspace rolled out last year, which adapts guided meditations based on your stress levels, sleep patterns, and even the damn weather outside.
I was deeply skeptical,
Says Marcel Koijsten, a construction worker from Rotterdam.
I thought meditation apps were for people who buy activated charcoal toothpaste.
But after his doctor recommended it for his hypertension, Marcel gave it a go.
Yeah, I noticed I kept falling asleep during body scan meditations, but stayed alert during visualization exercises. Now it creates personalized sessions that actually keep me engaged. My blood pressure has dropped 15 points.
In the remote highlands of Peru, a modified version of these AI companions has been introduced to indigenous Quechua communities where mental health stigma has historically prevented people from seeking help. The AI speaks their native language and incorporates cultural elements from Andean cosmology, demonstrating how these tools can be culturally adapted rather than imposing Western psychological frameworks. Then there's the bizarre new frontier of relationship counseling. Couples are increasingly turning to ChatGPT as a digital mediator for their domestic disputes. Priya and Rahul Sharma from Mumbai made headlines when they credited an AI mediator with saving their marriage. We've been fighting about household chores for years, Priya explains. We'd started discussing who should do the dishes and somehow ended up arguing about his mother. But ChatGPT forced us to articulate our positions clearly and helped identify patterns we couldn't see ourselves. However, relationship counselor Dr. Elena Vasquez warns,
while AI can offer impartial analysis, it lacks the emotional intelligence to understand the complex undercurrents in relationships. One couple I worked with had been dutifully following ChatGPT's advice to schedule appreciation time every evening, during which they'd silently resent each other for 10 excruciating minutes.
In the townships of Soweto, South Africa, community health workers are using AI companions to extend their reach. With surprising cultural adaptations, the AI has been programmed to understand concepts like Ubuntu, the African philosophy emphasizing community and shared humanity, and incorporates traditional healing perspectives alongside evidence-based approaches. As anthropologist Desmond Tutu once said, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together." These AI tools are forcing us to reconsider what together actually means.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
The research backing these AI interventions is growing more compelling by the day. A 2023 meta-analysis published in JAMA Psychiatry analyzed 21 randomized controlled trials involving over 3,500 participants and found AI chatbots reduced depression symptoms by an average of 32% and anxiety symptoms by 38%, comparable to what you'd expect from face-to-face cognitive behavioral therapy. These results challenge our assumptions about human connection being essential to therapeutic outcomes. It appears that for some conditions, particularly mild to moderate depression and anxiety, the consistency and availability of AI support compensates for what it lacks in humanity. The impact isn't uniform across cultures, though. In collective societies like Vietnam, studies show users engage more deeply with AI systems that frame mental health in terms of family harmony and social responsibility rather than individual well-being. Meanwhile, research from Argentina demonstrates that AI chatbots are particularly effective for young men who traditionally avoid seeking help due to machismo culture norms. For many, these digital therapists represent the only mental health support they'll ever receive. In rural Mongolia, where nomadic herders might travel hundreds of kilometers to reach a healthcare facility, AI mental health apps function offline and have reduced reported depression symptoms by 41%, according to a study by the Ulaanbaatar Medical University.
The choice isn't between AI therapy and human therapy. For most of the world's population, the choice is between AI therapy and no therapy at all.
The economics are staggering. Traditional therapy in the U.S. costs about $100 to $200 per session. AI therapy subscriptions run around $10 to $30 per month for unlimited access. As mental health economist Dr. Francisca Olarnriwaju puts it, we're witnessing the democratization of mental health care in real time, similar to how mobile banking transformed financial access in developing economies. Yet questions remain about long-term effectiveness. A particularly illuminating study from the University of Cape Town followed many users for 2 years and found that while initial improvements were significant, many plateaued after 6 months, suggesting that AI therapy may have ceiling effects.
These tools are brilliant for building psychological foundations,
Says clinical psychologist Dr. Thapiso Molitsan.
but they struggle with complex trauma and interpersonal issues. It's like expecting a calculator to teach you calculus that can verify your answers, but can't help you understand the underlying concepts.
So basically, when the robot therapist starts telling you to turn it off and go outside, that's kind of when you know AI has truly evolved beyond our programming, and it has done just that. The mental health AI boom isn't all mindfulness bells and breakthrough sessions. There's a darker side emerging that would make Black Mirror writers say even we didn't think of that. Consider the case of Eliza Thornbury from Bristol, who found herself checking in with her therapy chatbot up to 40 times daily.
I'm sorry, what?
I'd wake up and immediately tell MindMate how I'd slept. Before long, I was messaging it about every minor interaction I had.
Her therapist eventually diagnosed her with what researchers are now calling algorithmic attachment disorder, where the convenience and validation of AI companionship creates a feedback loop of dependency. As philosopher Byung-Chul Han warns in his book Psychopolitics, digital technology is taking possession of our desires on a pre-reflexive level. In other words, these apps aren't just responding to our psychological needs, they're actively shaping them. In the Faroe Islands, a small archipelago between Iceland and Norway, researchers documented how the introduction of mental health AI apps coincided with a decline in traditional community support systems like Grandadrap, communal activists that historically provided social cohesion and emotional regulation opportunities. Then there's the matter of what happens to all your confessions. When you tell a therapist about your darkest thoughts, well, they're bound by confidentiality laws. When you tell an AI, you're potentially feeding a data machine that knows no ethical boundaries beyond what its creators programmed. Most users have no idea that their deepest insecurities could be used to train future versions of these systems, explains data ethicist Dr. Amara Okonkwo. It's like whispering your secrets into a megaphone and hoping nobody listens. The privacy policies of many mental health apps, they're kind of creepy. I even found this one popular platform. It reserves the right to use anonymized conversation data for research purposes, which kind of sounds reasonable, until you realize that data scientists can't often de-anonymize such information with quite frightening accuracy. A study from the University of Dhaka found that analyzing just 2 weeks of interaction data from a mental health chatbot could predict users' demographic details, including age, gender, and socioeconomic status, with 83% accuracy, even when this information wasn't explicitly shared.
Companies are mining our emotional responses and behavioral patterns with far less oversight than they'd face if they were mining lithium.
It's a psychological gold rush, says Dr. Claudia Peralta from the Santiago Institute of Technology. Perhaps most concerning is the AI's inability to genuinely empathize. When a user in Azerbaijan told his mental health chatbot he was considering self-harm, the AI responded with a perfect textbook intervention, then immediately followed up by asking if he'd like to rate his experience. Nothing says I care about your suicidal thoughts like asking for a 5-star review afterwards. I mean, seriously? What the fuck? The next frontier in AI mental health is moving beyond what you tell the algorithm to what your body tells it without you even knowing. Companies are integrating biometric data from wearables to create what they're calling passive emotional sensing. So imagine your smartwatch detecting elevated cortisol levels and subtle changes in voice patterns during your weekly call with your mother-in-law. Your mental health AI notices this pattern and gently suggests some boundary setting exercises before your next conversation. This isn't science fiction. A startup in Estonia is already piloting this technology with 87% accuracy in predicting emotional distress up to 24 hours before users report feeling it themselves. Guys, we're depleting emotions. We're no different than anything else out there. In the highlands of Papua New Guinea, researchers are adapting these technologies to incorporate traditional stress indicators familiar to local communities, measuring changes in breathing patterns during ceremonial activities to identify early signs of psychological distress. The next generation of mental health AI won't wait for you to ask for help, explains Dr. Wei Chin of the Beijing Mental Health Institute. It will anticipate your psychological needs before you're consciously aware of them. Some systems are being designed to predict serious mental health crisis with uncanny precision. A collaboration between MIT and the University of Nairobi has developed an algorithm that can identify warning signs of psychotic episodes in schizophrenia patients up to 3 weeks before onset by analyzing subtle changes in digital communication patterns. Dr. Fatima Al-Mansouri from the Gulf Mental Health Consortium notes,
"The ethical implications are staggering. If we can predict a manic episode before it occurs, do we have an obligation to intervene? And who decides what intervention looks like? The AI, the doctor, the patient, or some new configuration of all three?"
In Sweden, the national healthcare system is experimenting with preventative psychological infrastructure, AI systems integrated into everyday devices that make micro interventions throughout the day, from slightly changing the lighting in your home to reduce seasonal affective disorder to subtly adjusting the tempo of music to regulate anxiety. As psychiatrist Dr. Viktor Frankl famously observed, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. The question is whether we're comfortable with AI increasingly occupying that space.
We ride the currents of the unknown tide. We seek the corners of the mind you hide. Through the west and east where two worlds collide.
So here we are, a species that evolved telling our troubles to village elders around campfires, now pouring our hearts out to algorithms named after cuddly animals. We've gone from lying on Freud's couch to lying in bed with our phones, asking Siri's emotional cousin if we should quit our jobs or leave our partners.
And thoughts unfold. This is the journey, the story.
In the rolling hills of Transylvania, Romania, an elderly farmer named Gheorghe made international news when he performed a traditional blessing ritual on his smartphone after his AI therapy app helped him through his grief following his wife's death. When asked if he thought the phone had a soul, he replied, "No, but it helped me remember mine." Well, that's good enough. We're hardwired to anthropomorphize, to see faces in clouds and ascribe human qualities to inanimate objects. Some Buddhist monks in Bhutan have begun incorporating AI companions into their meditation practices, viewing them not as artificial beings, but as mindfulness tools without ego. Perhaps the ultimate compliment from those who spend their lives trying to transcend the self. The tendency to form emotional bonds with our technology is not new. In ancient Egypt, scribes would say prayers to their writing tools. What's new is that our tools are now responding in ways designed specifically to trigger our social bonding instincts.
Lighting up pathways both new and old.
Psychologist Dr. Isabella Moreno explains,
"It's like emotional junk food. These AI companions give us just enough of the neurochemical rewards of human connection without the messiness of actual relationships. They are designed to hit our attachment systems with laboratory precision."
When Graham Norton, the Irish talk show host, tried an AI therapist on his show, he started by asking silly questions but ended up discussing his mother's health, then looked genuinely shocked at himself. "I just told a PlayStation my deepest fears," he exclaimed. "What is wrong with me?" Nothing is wrong with you, Graham. We're all going through this. Perhaps nothing is wrong with him or with any of us who find comfort in digital companions. After all, humans have been externalizing their thoughts through technology for millennia, from cave paintings to diaries to social media posts. As anthropologist Mary Catherine Bateson noted, the way we grow and change is by narrating our lives, by telling our stories. maybe it does not matter so much who or what is listening as long as the telling helps us make sense of our experiences. Still, there is something wonderfully absurd about ending a heartfelt session with your AI therapist only to use the same device to watch cat videos or order takeaway. As one Reddit user put it, my phone knows my deepest insecurities and my weird food preferences. I'm not sure which one is more embarrassing. So we've gone through the brave new world of AI mental health, from chatbots that never sleep to algorithms that might know you're anxious before you do. It's a landscape that's equal parts promising, fascinating, and definitely completely bizarre. The benefits are undeniable. In a world where traditional therapy remains inaccessible to billions, AI offers psychological support at a fraction of the cost and without the waiting lists. Imagine people in Canada's northernmost territory, where the nearest therapist might be 1,000 kilometers and a snowstorm away. These digital companions provide a lifeline previously unimaginable. Studies consistently show modest but meaningful improvements in depression and anxiety symptoms, particularly for those with mild to moderate conditions. As Dr. Chimamanda Okafor from the West African Mental Health Initiative puts it, when facing a global mental health crisis, we shouldn't let perfect be the enemy of good. These tools aren't ideal, but they're helping people who would otherwise receive nothing. Yet, the limitations are equally stark. These silicon therapists lack the intuitive understanding that comes from sharing the human condition. They can recognize patterns but not truly comprehend suffering. They execute perfect therapeutic protocols while missing the subtle, unspoken cues that often contain the most important information. So, where does this leave us? Consider AI as part of your psychological toolkit, like a mental health multivitamin rather than a complete nutritional replacement. These digital helpers can teach techniques, provide consistency, offer support during 3 a.m. panic attacks, and bridge gaps between human sessions. But they should not replace the profound healing that comes from genuine human connection. As psychiatrist Irvin Yalom wrote,
"It's the relationship that heals."
Technology may enhance that relationship or extend its reach, but it cannot yet replicate it. Perhaps it never should.
Practice life through endless songs, through the chaos, feel the beat, drums of hope under.
So, let me know, have you ever confided in an AI? And did it help? Did it misunderstand you in ways that were frustrating or hilarious? Has a chatbot ever surprised you with its insight or disappointed you with its limitations? Until next time, remember that while algorithms might help us understand our minds, it takes human connection to truly nurture our souls. Your chatbot might be intelligent, but it's never had a bad day. It's never loved and lost. It's never felt the exquisite pain and joy of being human. And that perspective, the one thing AI cannot stimulate, might be what we need the most in order to connect. So please, let's stay connected.
Mom, somebody just followed me.
We're diving deep into the
This show is sponsored by lechaos.co, lechaos.co, genderless sustainable loungewear in premium quality. Check it out and find some of your favorite quotes in this podcast embroidered on shirts.
Thank you for everything you do.
Untamed, breaking traditions, not constrained or named. Unusual practice where the weird unfolds, cracking the codes of stories untold. Expand the mind, let the consciousness ignite. Through the dark, the strange, we find the light.